This is the Teupen Leo 18 GT. Those who intend to use any machine with characteristics of weight, height, width, length or complexity which differ significantly to the training they have received should ensure that they receive a familiarisation to cover the differences. It is the employer's responsibility to ensure that all operators using equipment are adequately trained and familiarised to comply with current health and safety legislation. Machine-specific familiarisation should follow on from basic training and cover the manufacturer's instructions and warnings, features of the specific model, control functions, safety devices and emergency lowering procedures. All of the above are to be found in the operator's manual supplied with the machine. When travelling or manoeuvring track-mounted platforms, please be aware that IPAF have produced best practice on the use of travelling. Refer to the poster and follow where possible. The maximum working height is 17.6 metres. The maximum platform height is 15.6 metres. The maximum horizontal side reach is 7.4 metres. The height of the lower boom when elevated is 8.2 metres. Working basket length is 1.42 metres. Working basket width is 0.7 metres. Working basket height is 1.1 metres. The overall length of the machine is 5.12 metres. With the platform or basket removed, the length of the machine is 4.39 metres. The overall width of the machine in the fully closed position is 0.78 metres. The overall height of the machine when fully stowed is 1.99 metres. The chassis clearance is 0.25 metres. When the machine is fully stabilised and braced with its outriggers, the length of the machine is 3.31 metres. The width of the machine is 3.03 metres. The net weight of the machine is 2,400 kilograms. The maximum capacity in the platform is 200 kilograms. The maximum number of people in the platform is 2 persons. The turret will rotate 355 degrees. The permissible lateral or manual side force on the machine is 400 newtons. It is possible to brace the machine up to a slope of 12 degrees or 21%. The maximum slope angle is 16.7 degrees or 30%. The gradability in the driving directions 19.7 degrees or 35.5%. The incline position transfers to the slope is 16 degrees or 28.5%. The travel speed of the machine is 1.8 km per hour. The type of fuel for the machine is diesel. The capacity of the tank is 12 litres. The maximum permissible wind speed is 12.5 metres per second. Warnings and symbols. Danger. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates an imminently hazardous situation, which if not avoided will result in death or serious injury. Warning. This combination of a symbol and signal word indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in death or serious injury. Caution. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in minor or moderate injury. Notice. This combination of symbol and signal word involves a potentially hazardous situation, which if not avoided may result in property damage. Environmental protection. This combination of symbol and signal word indicates potential danger to the environment. Tips and recommendations. This symbol highlights useful tips and recommendations as well as information designed to ensure efficient and smooth operation. You may have symbols that are used in specific areas in the manual. Please refer to the operator's manual for these specific symbols. When using and operating the machine, it is strongly recommended to wear the following personal protective equipment: safety helmet with chin strap, safety goggles or safety spectacles, ear protection as necessary, safety gloves, safety footwear, appropriate clothing. When working from a boom-type mobile elevated working platform, it is strongly recommended that a full body harness with an adjustable lanyard be used to provide work restraint. The lanyard should be adjusted to be as short as possible and may contain an energy absorbing device. The need for any other personal protective equipment should be indicated by your risk assessment and method statement. Keys. Your Teupen does not have a traditional key. The key that is supplied with the machine is a battery isolator key, which is a red key which is inserted into the battery isolator. To turn the machine on, simply turn the key once through 90 degrees to the on position. To isolate and shut down the machine, turn the isolator key once anti-clockwise and remove the key. Additional keys which may be present include an engine start key that is used for servicing and if the engine card or relays fail, the fuel tank key, the hydraulic tank key and the electrical box keys. The machine features: Number 1, Outrigger 2. Number 2, upper boom. Number 3, Outrigger 1. 4, control head with cable remote control. 5, working basket or platform. 6, control box. 7, left crawler chassis. 8, control box cover. 9, electric motor. 10, drive unit. 11, Outrigger 4. 12, Outrigger 3. 13, deflection triangle. 14, lower boom. 15, right crawler chassis. 16, cover for the platform valves. 17, hydraulic tank. 18, cover for the valves of the outrigger and crawler chassis. 19, basket boom. For when operating on mains, all Teupen machines are 16 amp, 240 volt, which is a small round blue plug. Please note that your extension lead can be not longer than 10 meters. If it is longer than 10 meters, this will result in significant power loss to the machine. Power is supplied either from main supply using an extension cable or by the internal combustion engine. The electric motor is connected by the customer to a 230 volt connection. The plug connector is situated underneath the cover. When connected to mains electric, there's no noise of any motor until the function is activated. 110 volt power to the platform. When using power tools on the platform, plug in your 110 cable into the base of the machine. Now it is possible to use the power tool from the working platform without dangling cables. Pre-use checks. Identify the thorough examination plate and ensure that the machine is in date. Locate the manufacturer's data plate and ensure that serial number corresponds with the thorough examination serial number. Make sure that the operator's manual is stored in the black box in the platform. Ensure that it's correct, up to date and fully legible. Before using the machine, carefully read the manual. Make sure that you understand fully the safety regulations and operating instructions. Visually inspect the whole machine. Ensure that all decals on the machine are fully legible and clear. Ensure that you check all pins, fasteners, nuts and retainers. Ensure they are properly fastened and correctly tight. Check any welds looking for cracks, damage. Check all booms, ensuring they are seated correctly, straight and not damaged. Check stabiliser legs, making sure that stabiliser legs are in good condition, no damage. Check the hydraulic oil level for correct levels. Check the fuel tank to ensure that there is sufficient fuel. Check the battery, ensuring that it's correctly connected and secured. Check for any hydraulic oil leaks or any other leaks on the machine. Harness anchorage points, make sure they are in good condition and marked. Check hydraulic cylinders, pipes and rams, checking for any leaks, damaged cables. Engine. Check for the correct engine oil level. Ensure that the platform entry gate or sliding mid-rail close fully and is secured. Check the operation of the ladder to access the platform. This should open and close freely. When in the closed position, this should be locked up. Check boom wear pads. Ensure that you have been correctly trained in the use of this equipment. Cable remote controls. The control levers can be used to perform the respective colour-coded functions in accordance with the selected operating function and the position of the function selection lever. Moving the machine with the control levers. To move the machine, there are two control levers that are situated either side of the control panel. To move the machine forward, push both control levers forward. To move the machine backwards, pull both control levers backwards. These levers are proportional controls and will respond to your input. Red lamp. The red lamp flashes when the basket weight is exceeded. This red lamp also signals faults with the machine. Green lamp. The green lamp flashes when the outriggers are not in contact with the ground, they are not latched, or if the bracing angle is not correct. The green lamp will light up constantly when the machine is correctly braced. Toggle switch for function selection. The toggle switch for function selection is used to switch between the platform function, the chain or crawler function, and the stabilizer bracing function. Toggle switch for operating mode selection. This is used to select the operating mode, crawl or fast speed, in conjunction with the crawler chain function. It is also used for selecting the operating modes for manual or automatic for the stabilizer bracing and platform functions. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramping function. This is moving softly into the final positions. In position auto, ramp function is activated. In position manual, ramp function is deactivated. This is a dummy plug and this has no function. Function not in use. Emergency stop button. The emergency stop button is situated on the control panel. When it has been actuated, it has to be released by turning it in order to make the machine ready for operation again. Functions 8 and 9. Function not in use. Yellow lamp. The yellow lamp indicates the startup process and the operating status of the combustion engine. Toggle switch for engine. This toggle switch is used to start and stop the combustion engine. Connecting the cable remote control. Open the lid of the bracket. Remove the cable with the coupling and connect it to the plug of the cable remote control. The cable remote control can be inserted into the bracket when the machine has been used from the working platform, or it can be removed from the bracket and used on the ground to operate the machine. Hydraulic ramping. Your machine may have hydraulic ramping built into it by design. This means that the machine may not stop immediately when a controller is released. Number 1. Limit switch for lower boom when elevated. 2. Limit switch upper boom extension. 3. Emergency stop button, cable remote control. 4. Platform mid-rail. 5. Overcurrent safety device. 6. Limit switch lower boom. 7. Limit switch upper boom transport lock. 8. Limit switches for outriggers. There are 4 of these. 9. Limit switch lower boom transport. 10. Battery cutoff switch. 11. Platform valves. 12. Circular level. 13. Tilt sensor. This is internal and therefore not accessible. 14. Valves for both the outrigger and crawler chassis. 15. Limit switch for the working platform. Switch on the machine. Set the toggle switch on the control panel to the crawler chassis function. Use the toggle switch to select crawl speed, turtle, or fast speed, rabbit. Move the 2 control levers that are situated either side of the control panel. If the control levers are shifted as far as they will go in fast speed, the gearbox also switches to fast in order to reach the highest possible speed. By pressing the control levers slowly, the speed can be adapted. Setting the working position of the outriggers. Automatic lowering of the outriggers. Move the outriggers into the desired working position. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, which is colour yellow. Set the operating mode selector switch to automatic or auto mode. Using the control levers to operate the 4 outriggers, push any of the control levers forward. By pushing any of the control levers forward, all the outriggers are extended simultaneously. The speed of extension can be adjusted by actuating the control levers slowly. As with the lowering of any outriggers, ensure that the ground is suitable for taking the weight of the machine and that the area is clear of any people or animals. Move the chassis into the horizontal position by aligning the outriggers with the circular level. The bubble in the circular level again must be within 1 degree of the circle. Again, if the bracing is correct, the green lamp on the cable remote control will light up constantly. Be aware you must also check the bracing visually. Check that the outriggers are in contact with the ground and that the chain or tracks are not in contact with the ground. Automatic retraction of the outriggers. When retracting the outriggers automatically, only use the cable remote control if there is no one in the working basket. Connect the cable remote control, switch on the machine, telescope in the upper boom and the lower boom. Swivel the platform in the direction of the transport position so that both arrows on the rotation indicator are aligned with each other. Lower the lower boom completely. Lower the upper boom completely. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function yellow. Now set the operating mode selector switch to automatic or auto. Pull any control lever and all outriggers are retracted simultaneously. Again, once all the outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them back into the transport position. Manual lowering of the outriggers. Select the function select switch on the cable remote control to the outrigger function, which is yellow. Set the operating mode selector switch to manual, which is the hand symbol. Use the control levers to operate the 4 outriggers. In the manual mode, each of the 4 black control levers will operate an individual outrigger. Pushing control lever 1 forwards will extend outrigger 1. Pushing control lever 2 forwards will extend outrigger 2, and so on. The speed of extension can be adjusted by actuating the control lever slowly. This is known as proportional control. Move the chassis into horizontal position by aligning the outriggers with the circular level. The bubble in the circular level must be within 1 degree of the circle. If the bracing is correct, the green lamp on the cable remote control lights up constantly. However, you must check the bracing visually. Check that all the outriggers are in contact with the ground. Please note the chain or tracks must not be in contact with the ground. Manual retracting of the outriggers. Use the control levers to operate the outriggers 1 to 4. Pull the control lever 1 back, outrigger 1 is retracted. Pull the control lever 2 back, outrigger 2 is retracted, and so on. Once all outriggers have been retracted, release the outriggers and swivel them back into the transport position. Moving the machine into the transport position via the cable remote control. In order to move the machine into the transport position, the outriggers can be retracted manually or automatically. Due to uneven lowering of the outriggers, the machine can tip or slide. This can cause severe injuries and significant material damage. When levelling or moving the machine, this should be performed outside the working platform as much as possible. If working from inside the working platform, always put the safety harness on and attach your carabiner to the carabiner anchorage point. Always observe the movement of the outriggers and of the chassis while retracting. Make sure that no limbs, supply or electrical lines are underneath the crawler chassis. Lower the machine evenly. Removing the working platform. Number 1. Move the machine into the transport position. Remove the included open-end wrench from the document box. Use the open-end wrench to loosen the fastening screw. Pull the cotter spring out of the fastening bolt. Pull out the fastening bolt. Lift the working basket slightly until it can be tipped. Once the working platform has been lifted, move the platform away from the machine. The basket will now pull out at an angle. For ease of moving, there are 2 rollers attached to the bottom of the platform. By tipping it appropriately and carefully, the working basket can now be moved on its rollers. Please note you may need assistance with this procedure. Attaching the working basket. Insert the working basket at an angle with the adapter. Press the working basket in the direction of the machine and move it with the adapters. Insert the fastening bolts and secure the fastening bolts with the spring cotter pin. Use the open-ended wrench to tighten the fastening screw on the working basket. Pay attention to proper and tight fitting of the fastening screw. The tightening torque is approximately 20 Newton meters. Return the open-ended wrench to the document box. Adjusting the crawler chassis. The machine may topple or slip if height and width adjustments are made improperly. This can cause severe injuries and significant property damage. Only undertake this height and width adjustment of the crawler chassis when the machine is set in the wide working position. Extending the crawler chassis mechanically. Switch on the machine, move the outriggers into the working position. Lift the machine up using the outriggers until the crawler chassis is unloaded. This will be approximately 20 mm off the ground. Loosen the cover screws and remove the cover. Put the hand pump lever into the locking position. The hand pump is located within the cover where the platform valves are situated. Warning: risk of injury due to crushing between crawler chassis and the ground. When operating the height adjustment, there can be severe injuries due to crushing between the crawler chassis and the floor. Always ensure that there are no limbs between the crawler chassis and the floor. Release the locking mechanism by actuating the hand pump lever in the direction of the arrow. In doing this, the crawler chassis on the opposite side will lower to the floor. Lower the outriggers onto the ground until the crawler chassis then becomes extended. Allow the locking mechanism to engage in place at the desired locking or extension height. Now make sure the locking lever has properly engaged in place. For this, the lever must be set back until the yellow arrows meet. Repeat the process on the other side. Pull out the hand pump lever and place it into the bracket and secure. Put the cover back on and secure the cover in place. Retracting the crawler chassis mechanically. Switch on the machine, move the outriggers into the working position. Now lift up the machine using the outriggers until the crawler chassis is unloaded, again approximately 20 mm above the ground. Loosen the screws on the cover and remove the cover. Put the hand pump lever into the locking mechanism. Release the locking mechanism by actuating the hand pump lever in the direction of the arrow. Retract the crawler chassis by lifting the outrigger on the opposite side. By lifting the outrigger, this should now push in the crawler chassis as the outrigger is lifted. Allow the locking mechanism to engage in place at the desired insertion height. Make sure the locking mechanism has engaged properly in place. The lever must be set back until the yellow arrows meet. Pull out the hand pump lever and place it back into its bracket and screw on the cover. Using the control levers and the toggle switch to operate the platform. Set the function selection switch on the cable remote control to the platform function, which is coloured blue. Pushing control lever 1 forwards will raise the lower boom. It will also telescope out the lower boom when it is fully elevated. Pulling control lever 1 backwards will lower the lower boom and telescope in the lower boom. Pushing control lever 2 forwards will raise the upper boom. Pulling control lever 2 backwards will lower the upper boom. When the machine is in the stowed position and control lever 2 is actuated, this will cause the telescopic boom to automatically extend or retract by approximately 1 foot. This depends on whether you are extending or lowering the upper boom. Pushing control lever 3 forwards will telescope out the upper boom. Pulling control lever 3 backwards will telescope in the upper boom. Pushing control lever 4 forwards will swivel the platform clockwise. Pulling the control lever backwards will swivel the platform anti-clockwise. The speed of the functions can be adjusted by actuating the control levers slowly. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramp function. This is for moving slowly into the final position. Auto is the ramp function is activated. Manual ramp function is deactivated. Risk of injury due to improper machine movements. Improper machine movements can tip the machine over. This may cause serious or even fatal injuries. The emergency operation is only intended for downward movements, retracting and rotational movements in the transport position direction. First move the platform in the transport position. Only then move the outriggers into the transport position. Risk of injury if safety devices are deactivated. All safety devices are out of operation or non-functioning when the machine is operated via the emergency operation or in service mode. Lowering the working platform in emergency mode. Switch off the machine and make sure the mains plug is disconnected, switching the machine off. Unscrew the screws on the cover. Remove the cover. Screw the hand pump lever into the hand pump. Activate the desired valve by pressing it in firmly with the control lever and at the same time pumping with the hand pump until the selected function has reached the desired position. Please note these are what's called black and white valves, meaning the speed of the platform movement cannot be regulated. Black or white valves only have two settings, open or close. Rotate the platform in the direction of the transport position until both arrows meet. Risk of injury due to uncontrolled movements. If the valves are set incorrectly in normal mode, there is a risk of uncontrolled movements. This can cause severe injuries. Ensure that all valves are turned into their original position. Remove the hand pump lever and clamp it back onto the bracket. Remount all covers. Operating the outriggers in emergency mode. Number 1. Ensure the platform assembly is in the transport position. 2. Unscrew the screws off the cover and remove the cover. 3. Actuate the desired valve on the control block by unscrewing the valve screw. The machine may topple or slip if outrigger mode is operated improperly. This can cause severe injuries and material damage. Always keep the machine in a position as close to horizontal as possible when lowering. 4. Screw the hand pump lever into the hand pump and pump until the outrigger has reached the desired position. After the emergency operation, screw in the valve screws on the outrigger control block and release the shuttle valves. Remove the hand pump lever and clamp it back into the bracket, remount and replace the cover. Platform function tests. Set the function selection switch on the cable remote control to the platform function, which is coloured blue. Pushing control lever 1 forwards will raise the lower boom. It will also telescope out the lower boom when it is fully elevated. Pulling control lever 1 backwards will lower the lower boom and telescope in the lower boom. Pushing control lever 2 forwards will raise the upper boom. Pulling control lever 2 backwards will lower the upper boom. Pushing control lever 3 forwards will telescope out the upper boom. Pulling control lever 3 backwards will telescope in the upper boom. Pushing control lever 4 forwards will swivel the platform clockwise. Pulling the control lever backwards will swivel the platform anti-clockwise. The speed of the functions can be adjusted by actuating the control levers slowly. The operating mode selector switch can be used to activate and deactivate the ramp function. This is for moving slowly into the final position. Auto is the ramp function is activated. Manual ramp function is deactivated. Please note a second person will be needed at ground level in the event of platform emergency lowering when the operator is in the working platform. Shutting down the machine. Ensure that the machine is returned back into the closed position, including the rotation of the turret, the folding of the booms and the retraction of the outriggers. Remove the red isolator key from the machine. Disconnect the cable remote control box from the machine. This will now prevent anyone from using the machine.